Hello everyone, welcome to day 19 of Vlogmas, and I'm really excited. As you can see, I'm at work here, but I was able to get into work fairly early today because my kids had a dental appointment, so I didn't have to drop them off at daycare before coming into work. So my husband is taking care of the dental appointment, and that means that I get a little time to do something that I wanted to get done yesterday but just couldn't get to, and that is making a few Christmas ornaments. So I'm really excited. If you watch yesterday's video, I'll try to put a card somewhere here. You'll know that I did a little bit of a Target haul, and I showed you that I got this ribbon, which you can actually see now. It's like a velvety texture. It's a really pretty green color. And I got some twine. And those were the two things that I was missing from this project. So I'm really happy to get started on this. What we're going to be doing is making pine cone ornaments, okay? So I've gone into my yard and I've picked some pine cones. Now, if you don't have pine cones in your yard, you can totally, they sell these at craft stores. You can just buy pine cones. And if you want to be extra special, I think they have cinnamon scented ones. Personally, those drive me nuts. It's too strong of a scent for me. But I just went in my yard and picked these up. I haven't washed them. I did make sure there weren't bugs in them. I picked them after a really hard frost that we had. So I think all the bugs are dead. Definitely look up online how to make sure you don't have bugs in your pine cone. A lot of them recommend washing them in vinegar water and then baking them in the oven or just letting them dry out naturally. You can also put them in the freezer for a couple days and that'll kill them. But I'm not too concerned because of the time of year. So I have about 4 pine cones here. I'll pin you guys down so you can see what I'm working with here. So we have these pine cones, okay? And I have my scissors for cutting my ribbon and my twine. Right, and I have glue sticks, and you can see my glue gun over here. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my glue gun. That's plugged in, so it should start heating up soon. And I brought this container just because they're, pine cones are a little bit fragile, so I'm going to store them in here later. If you do pick up pine cones from your yard, be careful. They have the little prickles on the end, so you can see the little prickly bits on the end, maybe. But just be careful when you're picking them up. All right, I will try to get good camera angles for this, but no promises, okay? So while we are waiting for, oh, and I almost forgot, I have my tea. I have an important tea to make sure the morning goes well. All right, so we have our pine cone here. I'm gonna open up the extra glue sticks because I feel like they always go quickly. I'll just put them on there so I can grab them easily. And let's get started with the ribbon, I guess, because that's the most fun part. We're going to be making bows out of this ribbon. So let's see. The first one I always end up wasting a lot. So we're just going to cut a length and then figure out how much we need later. All right. So I cut about that much. And let's see, I haven't done this in a really long time and I haven't watched any tutorials for making bows. So I'm just winging it here, okay? Because sometimes it's fun to do that with crafts. I do want to make sure it has like a knot in the middle. That's the middle-ish. Lovely. And I know there's lots of debate about how to tie bows, but I've always been the one rabbit ear and then you go around. I will say with these, you do want to make sure that if you have a ribbon like this where both sides aren't the same, that you want the fancy side to stay out. So it's probably going to have a little twist in the middle of there. All right, so that looks horrible, so definitely don't do that first knot. just do the twist around. Let's start over. All right, let's try again. So we'll make a loop. You have to make sure you're tugging on the correct side of the bow to tighten it, not in the middle. All right. So also not very pretty. I'm going to want the tails to be a little bit longer than that. So pull on this bit. Try to get them even a little bit. There you go. That one's harder because it's twisted. Let's see. So last time I did this, instead of using a velvet ribbon, I used a satin ribbon that was wide. I think it was 1-inch ribbon, so it was twice as wide as this. But I'm happy with that. It's fine that it's got this long tail on it because I'm going to cut it anyway. But let's see. Does that look okay on top of Mr. Pinecone? I think maybe I need one of the smaller Pinecones. This is the biggest Pinecone I got. Let's see. Ooh, here's a tiny one. That's going to look better. That'll be good. So now I'm just going to even out the length of the ribbon because I do like it hanging down like that. So let's see. That's about where? About here. And I'm going to be super fancy. And if you fold the ribbon in half like this, see, I'm just pinching it and it's folded in half. I don't know how much you can actually see of this. I'm going to do a little cutout. And then you get that pretty tail. So let's do that to the other side. All right. Later. All right, now I do want the tails to hang down a little bit, so go like that. So that is going to sit up on here. Let's see which face of the pine cone. So you can see it's a little bit lopsided because, you know, that's what happens in nature. So we will do like this. So it's time to do the twine because we're actually going to, I found out last time these sit better if you glue it to the twine. So we are going to cut some twine and we're going to put a big dollop of hot glue here in this little alcove hole. And that's where we're going to make the twine loop. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's already starting to fray on the bottom, so I'm going to get a fresh cut. And then, I don't know if you can see that. So somewhat fresh cut on your twine there. I'm just going to loop it like that. So that one feels like a good length for this size. Okay. So yes, my hot glue gun is ready. Very carefully do this. So I have this paper towel in a tray because I do not want to get hot glue on any tables at work. I'm just going to fill this up with some hot glue. All right, and then I'm going to set it there. It's also nice to have this. I'm using the container lid and it's got a little lip on it, so it's nice to be able to have something to rest it on semi-upright. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm trying to do this so you can see it. I'm just holding the ends of the twines into the hot glue right now. I'm just going to hold it there for a sec. I don't know anyone who has used a hot glue gun who has not just absolutely gotten hot glue all over themselves, so be prepared. I'm also going to put a little dollop of glue on top of the twine so that it holds it in there a little bit better. Because this part is going to be covered by the bow anyway. So what did we say? I think that this was the face that we wanted the bow on. Right. So we're going to take our bow and we'll put some more hot glue. I'm going to do it just like that. Look at how pretty that is. Okay. So I put some hot glue on the front part of the twine. And I'm also going to put a bead on the back of the twine. I have no clue how much of this you guys can see. There we go. All right. So that's what it's going to end up looking like. And once this is dry, I can tweak the bow a little bit more. But we're going to let it dry like that for now. I don't want to move it around too much. So I think that's pretty, and it's super easy. So you can definitely make these your own by picking whatever kind of fabric you want for the bow. You know, choosing what kind of pine cones you want to use. So this is our next pine cone. I'm going to go ahead and tie the bow first because this one's a little bit longer. So I'm going to see if I can do a little bit better job at getting that in the center. Let's see, how long do I want the tail to be? That looks like a nice tail. Let's see if I can do this a little bit more efficiently than last time. Untuck that just a little bit. All right. Actually, this other side looks better as the front. So let me see if I can twist this. There we go. There we go. I think that'll be okay. I think maybe I need to starting with longer ribbon, but we'll see. Okay. Cut my twine. There, looks about right. And if you want to be super exact with these, you can measure and whatnot, but I just don't care that much. So let's thank you, Pinecones, for conveniently having this little stem area we can use. Squish those in there. Put a little bit more on top. Oh, and this is the phase where I need another glue stick. Just to push the other one through. There we go. All right. I think I want this to be the front. So I'm going to let that set for just a sec. And we can place our bow here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to cut the ends like how I like. Let's do that real quick while that's setting. Now this, just make sure you're cutting from the middle of the ribbon out to get that nice V shape. All right, let's put some on the front and get our bow on. And just like the last one, I'm gonna put a sealing bead on the back. All right. And number 2 is done. Here's number 3. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my twine ready this time. Pink. And I'm gonna try even more ribbon this time. I want one that's long. And maybe I'm just cutting the same amount of ribbon each time. I can't really tell. All right, let's try it. Yep, I think I'm cutting the same ribbon each time. That's okay. A little less bow and a little more tail there. All right, let's get this tightened up. Oops. Pulled the exact wrong one. All right, we'll do our little cutout. There we go. So cute. I love the little tails. All right. Put our glue in a little divot here. Oops, the glue stick is not going in the proper place. There we go, that's better. Great. Something else that I am doing as I'm doing this is I'm trying to orient the twine. So if I know the bow is going to be on this side, I want the twine to be facing this way. So when you hang it on the tree, the bow is going to be facing forward more easily. Actually, that's in there pretty good. All right, so this is the face I want to use. Put some on the front for the bow. So it's a little bit hard to hold how I want. We'll let that one sit. I think I'm only going to need this one extra glue stick. All right, and this is the big guy that I started off with, so I'm going to need lots of ribbon for him for it to hang down. How much? So I feel like this is how much I was doing before, so let me do twice as much. All right, now we're talking. Now I got some ribbon to work with. And I'm just doing 4 of these today because these are going to be, you know, pine cones are fairly fragile. They're a little bit harder to store. All right. All right, so let me do that closer to the center. Looks like. Sorry, I'm not super chatty while doing this. Like I said, I'm not very good at multitasking. Oops. I will say if you use a satin ribbon, the ribbon part's going to be way easier. The only thing about the satin ribbon is that you will need to seal the edges. So if you have a lighter, try to see which engine, and I need to pull, not the ones I'm pulling. There we go. It's the same the other way. Oh well, good enough. So if you have a satin ribbon, you're going to need to seal the ends, get a lighter, and just, while the flame's open, just very quickly run it along the bottom so that the ribbon doesn't fray. Oh look, that actually turned out okay. It turned out okay. I can even that up pretty easy. Fluff this guy a bit. All right. And go like that. He's going to be a parky guy. We'll give him the pretty little cutout on both sides here. Okay. So cute. And we'll get our twine. go over there. Right, and I think this is actually from a different kind of pine tree. It seems different from the rest of them. Right, and that looks like a good face to me. I'm just going to tack the bow right there. There's already quite a bit of glue since there wasn't as much of a divot, but I am going to go ahead and tack it to the twine, just the twine kind of stays more upright. And attach to the bow. There we go. All right, and there we go. Might cut the ribbons a little bit, but that's always easy to trim at the end. All right, so I'm going to set this one up. Probably set it up in the container here, just since it's a little bit bigger. Oh, nope. Set it up here, propped up against some of the other ones. I'm going to unplug my glue gun so that it stops heating up, so I can store it safely here in just a little bit. Wipe any extra glue off the tip. Get the cord managed here. Right, and we just need to start cleaning up. We will put these back off and get my ribbon and the twine. And then I've got a little ribbon and a little bit of dirt from the pine cones here. That I'm going to toss in my bag so I can put it in the trash bin, since there's no trash bin in here. All right, we'll come back up. That's a little too far. Okay. So I think these are going to be beautiful. Let me pick up the first one that I did. So it should be fairly dry. Oh, look at how cute that is. So I really like the velvet, and it gives a nice warm texture. This is hard, it gives a nice warm texture, but it still looks really natural. So I really love that. I'm going to put this in the container. Let's see, where's the next one? That's a good thing about hot glue too, it dries pretty quickly. There's the other one. This one's got some hot glue stuff on it still, so let's just get that off, clean it up a little bit. So pretty. Just getting some of the hot glue. And he's got hot glue stragglers on the end there. And then this one I'm not going to hold up by it because it's still drying, but pick one. I think I am going to trim these. Let's trim those real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the right length. There we go. So festive. And this is a fairly quick craft. I mean, I think I'm at like a half hour now. I did 4 of them, and part of that was just fumbling around with the bows in the beginning until I got my process right. But look, it's dancing. So pretty. All right, well, that is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed that craft. It's fairly inexpensive. This twine was $6, but there's a ton of it, and I actually use this for wrapping sometimes. The ribbon, it says $6, but I think I got it on sale because it is Christmas ribbon. I want to say I wouldn't have spent $6 on this, but it also has 30 feet, so you can have this for a lot of other uses. And then we already had the glue gun and the glue sticks and the pine cones I got from the yard, but I think you can get pine cones pretty cheaply elsewhere. So this is a really simple, inexpensive craft that you can do with some natural materials. I think they just look so fun and amazing. So if you like doing crafts like this, I'm hoping to do kind of more of this content in the future with just normal decorations around the house or just decorating around the house. But Christmas time, I really get in the crafting mood. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming content. We're heading into the end of Vlogmas here, so that's super exciting. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.